Hey everybody, so Cow Creek Speed Shop, quick shop update. Let me turn on face tracking here on the Pocket. So we've talked about the Fasterback for a while. If you have followed us over from TikTok, then you have saw the Fasterback and all of its glory, I shall say. You've seen the whole car. You've seen steps that we've made to get it ready. And I'm thinking about compiling some of that older footage, although it's shot vertically, and kind of sticking it on YouTube later because it shows the car as we were building it and before it was painted and all the stages of primer and all that stuff. So we're finishing up a few things on the car today. As I said before, we have some wiring stuff to finish up. So we've thinned out the main engine harness. And I guess I don't really mean thinned out. I mean, we have moved some of the wires that we needed to. So we wanted the main engine harness that goes to the computer to go down inside the fender and then everything else to stay up where we needed it. So we had to extend some stuff. We'll show you that. It turned out pretty good. We got a lot of dust in the shop today because we've been doing some body work over here on the F100. So that will get everywhere. I don't care if you have a car covered up. I don't care. It's fine enough. It goes through everything. So I'm going to show you some things underneath the car here that we're pretty proud of. I posted a video earlier of the subframe connectors and exhaust and all that stuff. And that's pretty cool stuff. And we're excited about how everything is kind of hidden on the car. And there's a lot of stuff to hide on this car. It has a supercharger, and we put an ice tank in the back. So not only do we have a heat exchanger up front, we have an ice chest in the back with a pump in the back, pump up front, and everything is kind of circulated that way. And, you know, you don't have to add ice to the chest in the back, but you can for dyno days or for track days or things like that. So if you want to get the most performance and the coldest air, you can add ice to that chest. So that makes for a lot of plumbing. There's a lot of plumbing in this car. Not only that, but the fuel lines have turned into dash 10 fuel lines. So we have a send and a return. And then in the back, we have dual fuel pumps. So it comes out with two lines, and we have to go to one, then go to a filter. So there's a lot of plumbing on this car, and there's just not a lot of room on these cars to hide everything. So a lot of it had to be visible, so we tried to make it look as good as we could. I guess just as good as we could. So, you know, with it being kind of out in the open. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that stuff. So over here on this side, this is all the supercharger coolant lines. And they're going to cross right under the gap in that subframe connector. And they come straight back, and then they turn up towards the trunk. So once they get up to the trunk, all they do is turn a 90 and go straight in. And then on this side, we have the fuel lines right here. And they're going to do basically the same thing. They're going to go up, and they're going to go under the gap in the subframe connector. And then they're going to go straight forward. Now, this is pretty cool. We drilled holes through the front torque box for those fuel lines to go through. So, you know, like I said earlier, they come under the subframe connector, and then they go straight through the torque box. And then on this side, they come out of the torque box, and they go up, and then they go into the car where they need to be. Kind of the same story over here. It goes in right here through that torque box. And then over here, we have the battery cable where the battery is now in the trunk. And then we have our send and return for our supercharger lines. So we think it turned out pretty cool. You may not. I'm sure there's a lot better out there, but we think it turned out pretty good. And so as far as getting this car running again, we hope to have it running tomorrow. So the video you see after this one should be a running, driving, moving Fasterback. We do have the PCM. It's hidden right up inside of there. And we are going to clean these wires up. It is kind of a wiring nightmare, jungle mess in there. But everything will fold up and kind of be hidden up inside the fender. You can see we have a few wires with tags left, so when we cut everything loose from the first build, we wound up just labeling each wire so it would be easy to identify and put them back where they go a little bit later. So we have as far as running goes, this is the throttle body wires right here. So we have to extend those because they're here. And of course the throttle body is way up there. So we have to extend those, and then we have a starter request wire, and then we're going to hook up the tack adapter again. It's right here. We have to mount that and hide it somewhere. But we're going to hook that back up because in order to get the MSD tack adapter to work, you have to cut the positive wire for all of the coils and then wire it in the middle of that wire. So without that hooked up, or with that positive wire put back together, it's not going to run at all. And why would you take the time to put the positive wire back together when you just install what you need? But man, it's just an awesome car. It's been here so long that it's kind of become part of the family. But we really like it. I do still have to paint the front chin spoiler and get it properly mounted. I have some aluminum heim joints, and we're going to make some strut rods for that and try to get that taken care of. But yeah, so that's the Fasterback. Show you a little shot of the side here real quick. It has made one really, really slick car. That is House of Color Galaxy Gray and House of Color Chrome Yellow accents. Can't wait to get the wheels back on it and actually show you the car. But man, it's turned out really good. Got a little wiring going on two different projects here. The new edge is getting the Lethal Nate harness installed. Finally getting that finished up. We got moped on that, and then I am finishing up the main engine harness for the Fasterback. I put this off for a while. It looks intimidating. It's really not. I'm only fooling with a few of these wires. I have to extend the cam solenoid, the phaser solenoid. I have to extend each coil pack and then each injector, and then this connector on the direct injection fuel pump. So all that has to be extended so that this can reach through there to the PCM that we've mounted up inside the fender. So what I'm going to be doing is cutting, like I'll cut these two wires here. I'll extend them about 2 feet, and then I'll solder the ends back together, and we should be good to go there. So I'm going to do that for each one of these, and then we're going to rewrap this harness, and then what we'll wind up with is a small harness that branches off from this one that's going to have the injectors, the coil packs, and the phaser solenoid and all that stuff in it by itself, and we can just kind of hide it and tie it here by the fuel rail and make it look a lot cleaner. So that's kind of the point of what we're finishing up here, is to make the engine bay look cleaner. We're going to have a little wire in this corner, and we're going to have some stuff coming up through here. But man, it's a far sight better than it was before. We used to have the AC lines running this way. Now the AC lines run through the fender right there, and then they wrap up, come over, and then they come out to the pump and the condenser. Still have to get a little mount for the intercooler, radiator, heat exchanger. But it's almost whipped. So as soon as I get this done, we should be able to key on and have fuel pump and I guess go ahead and load the tune, the first tune from Lund, and see if we get some supercharger noises out of this bad boy. Pretty exciting. Can't wait. You gotta love working on supercharged Coyotes in a tiny little 65 engine bay.